Well, the judicial insurrection against Donald J. Trump continues to explode. Right now, there are about 119 cases against Donald Trump. In fact, this has never before happened in the history of United States of America. Never has a sitting president ever had this many legal actions against them, especially in this amount of time. I've got a lot to share with you today, but let's start first with this article on Gateway Pundit. Judicial insurrection. Radical leftist judges wage all-out war against President Trump. 119 legal challenges in just 2 months, more than double any U.S. president in history. In fact, it goes on to state this: since returning to the White House in January, President Donald Trump has been met with an unprecedented legal onslaught from far-left activist judges and groups determined to sabotage his administration at every turn. Appearing on the War Room with Steve Bannon, Josh Hammer, senior counsel for the Article 3 project, warned that what America is witnessing is not just judicial activism, it's an outright judicial insurrection. And I wholeheartedly agree, especially with the fact that we've got literally 119, double any other president in American history. This is huge. There is a lot more going on. In fact, on that interview, he says this, quote, "Let me just lay the scene briefly here. What we're seeing is not just judicial activism, Steve. I use the words very carefully there. I mean, this is a full-on judicial insurrection going back to the very first days of this administration in power. By the way, those of us with a long enough memory to remember the first Trump administration, this is nothing new. The first Trump administration from 2017 to 2021 faced, by my count, I believe it was 65 so-called nationwide injunctions, which, by the way, is more than the first 44 presidents of the United States combined, literally in all of American history. It goes on to state so far this year, Trump, in 2 months, has faced 119 legal challenges by activist judges, and only 2 of these cases have been closed. In fact, when Elon Musk went to inquire of Grok on this, Grok responds with the average across 46 presidents, most of them pre-20th century presidents, faced a 0 to 5 legal challenges, often indirect. Modern presidents, after 1945, an average of 10 to 30, driven by increased judicial oversight and partisan litigation. Trump stands out with potentially 100 plus challenges, dwarfing Clinton, Nixon, and others. This reflects both his polarizing action and the current era's litigation climate. For someone to say that there is not some kind of, call it a judicial insurrection or judicial coup, they're absolutely wrong, because there is a lot more going on than what they are saying. But before I get into any of that, I got to give a quick shout out to my sponsor at lisahavengold.com. Noble Gold Investments has just put out a huge alert. Right now, gold is up to 46% in less than a year, doubling NASDAQ and S&P 500. In fact, this isn't just another rally. Global reserves are shifting and exposing cracks in the monetary system. Investors are now losing confidence in paper gold and are demanding physical metal, creating a massive gap between gold owned and gold that is available. Right now, Noble Gold Investments has a limited supply of investment grade gold bars and coins that are available. That's why I want to encourage you to jump on it today. In fact, give them a call at the number on the screen and let them know you heard it on Lisa Haven. And right now, they are giving away this amazing gold coin that you see on the screen here, 1 10th-ounce gold coin with any approved plan. Don't wait before it's too late. Make sure that you contact Noble Gold Investments today, right now, because now is the time to start investing the right way before the crap hits the fan with the economy. If you want more information, click that more button or click the link in the description box below. There's always a risk to investing. There's never a guarantee. All right, back to the broadcast. So let's dub this officially a judicial insurrection. I think that's an appropriate term for this. But to give you an idea, all the various lawsuits that they are igniting against Donald Trump, I found this on usnews.com. And here it is here. And these are all the lawsuits against Trump's executive orders. And there's a ton of them, right? They break them down a little bit in this to kind of give you an idea, because sometimes there could be multiple on one of these. But here it is. Which of Trump's executive orders are being challenged? U.S. News is tracking all of the executive orders, or tracking the biggest executive orders, not all of them, but the biggest one. But here's what they have, and you can see tracking the legal challenges. Ending birthright citizenship, temporary blocked, making it easier to fire federal employees via Schedule F. That's ongoing. Creating the Department of Efficacy, also ongoing. Ending government DEI, temporarily blocked. Ending federal support for gender-affirming care, temporarily blocked. Suspending asylum, temporarily blocked. Reversing offshore drilling ban, ongoing. Foreign aid freeze, ongoing. And suspending the refugee program, temporarily blocked. Now, obviously, these are some of the bigger ones as opposed to the 119, but these are some of the bigger ones that we definitely need to make some massive wins on, because they are what the Democrats are doing right now are absolutely insane. And here's what I say: if they're going to do this to us, by golly, when a Democrat gets in, I think we need to do the same thing to them, unless the Supreme Court finally does what they need to do and intervene in this crap so we can finally get on the right path. But anyway, it gets into some of the more details, the legal challenges to birthright citizenship. I think some of these, by the way, we're going to win, and some of these we are going to lose. I'm not sure how strong we are on this particular one, but there's that one. Legal challenges to Schedule F. I really hope this one goes through, because we have to be able to make people who are in government spots and positions, we have to be able to fire those people, because if not, who do they really answer to? They're just allowed to run amok. I'm all for this. Legal challenges to DOJ. I think they're going to get some pushback on that, because that is the job of the president, to create these departments to do things. And all DOJ is doing is getting rid of excessive spending in our government. So I think hopefully that could go in our favor. And then, of course, legal challenges to DEI. I don't think these should have ever gone through in the first place, because they are racist to the core. To sit there and pin one race over another for certain jobs is just ludicrous and racist. And if we've got a good Supreme Court, because Amy Coney Barrett of the Supreme Court hasn't really been on our side lately, I think we can get some movement on that. Gender affirming care, suspending asylum, some of the legal challenges to the offshore drilling ban. Look, the bottom line here is we need to drill, baby, drill, to build up our economy. That is not going to happen unless we have a president in charge willing to do that. As you know, there has been a ruling on the foreign aid freeze. The Supreme Court ruled that Trump must follow a district court order to pay out nearly $2 billion in foreign assistance funds. Now, I've expanded on this one before, but basically on that, and I disagree with the Supreme Court on this. They're saying, oh, you have to go and pay all the contracts that you've already agreed to pay. Well, it sounds good on the surface, right? If you're thinking about, all right, well, they already agreed to pay these contracts. The problem therein lies, of which the Supreme Court should have addressed and didn't, is if we're going to send this money that we had a contract with or pay, the question is, what if the money is being used fraudulently? Maybe they should have based it on, if the organization turns out to be legit and not fraudulent means, then go ahead and pay the contract. This is why I have a massive issue with it, because a lot of this money wasn't based on the merits. Okay, well, if this company is fraud, doesn't matter if it's fraud. I still have to pay this fraudulent non-government organization company or whatnot. And that's the problem that we're running into. And a lot of these legal challenges, that is what we're facing. In fact, if there's this entire document here, it goes through all of them, all 119, including the 2 cases that are closed. But this is just insanity. You can see how many people are standing in radical left positions on a lot of these in opposition to Donald J. Trump. I mean, I could scroll through this for a very long time. But again, this is unprecedented in all of history. our entire history, this has never happened to a sitting president. And that is why I am outraged by this entire thing, because we shouldn't have this. Look, there is a judicial insurrection going on in the form of Democrats are using and weaponizing the justice system, where they have some Joe Schmo out of Maine coming out or Rhode Island, some Rhode Island judge, any judge, can come out and say, oh, that's illegal. And then you can get another judge to say, oh, that's not illegal. Or nope, we're going to do that. We're not going to do that. If any judge can just start issuing TROs and all this stuff against Donald Trump out of nowhere on everything that he does, we have no other way to term that than a judicial coup. And this is exactly what the Democrats want. And I think the long-term game here for the Democrats, and by the way, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some. But the long-term game here for the Democrats is to keep Donald Trump and his administration so busy with all these lawsuits that everything else gets the back fiddle, and his entire, and I'm going to say 2 years, I know it's a 4-year term, but there's a midterm coming up, right? And I am terrified that Democrats could possibly get the majority again in the House or the Senate or both. Okay, so I'm going to start with 2 years for now. We have 2 years to fix this crap and a limited time to do it. And if they can keep Donald Trump, Doge, and his administration in the court system working on that, nothing to the level that we want it to get done is going to get done. And that's the game they're playing here. Bottom line is the Supreme Court, okay? We need to get the Supreme Court to decide if any rogue judge out of any state can challenge executive orders of the President of the United States. Personally, I think this should be the call of the Supreme Court of the United States. They should be the only one to challenge the executive orders, not some Hawaii judge or Rhode Island judge or Mississippi or Maine judge, because this is what's happening. And it's just this rogue chess game. And now, unlike any other time in history, and I think that's a huge point here, we have these judges way out of their league, right? And here's the thing, there's a lot of prior cases that can weigh in on this. Regarding some of this, like the firing, we've had some situations, things that have been ruled on in the past that are in our favor that could help us, and things that may not. But ultimately, somebody has to address that bottom line question. Can these judges do that or not? And I think that's rather important, especially in light of everything that is going on. I'd love to get your thoughts, comments. I do read them here. So what do you think about all this? Would you call it an insurrection? Would you call it a coup? Would you just say this is part of the process, part of the law? I really want to know your input. What do you think? Please leave it in the comments below. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.